Before we get very far into our next story, we do have a warning for you tonight. What you're about to see and hear may not be suitable for children. Tonight, take a walk in their world.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Transpicuous News. It is February 11th, in that second week of February, and still the insanity turns. I'm going to ignore most of the political bullshit from this week, but there was a couple of interesting stories that we're just going to focus on. So we'll fuck most of the political shit. We're going to talk about some rather strange, bizarre, maybe good, could be very fucked up kind of stories. Here we go. You got to watch this, guys. The first one is literally just one of those moments where you go, oh, please let this be a sign of something new and improved and wonderful. So this is out of India, the Indian Economic Times. Basically, India's kicked the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation out. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, they have been basically shut the gate on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as a possible conflict of interest arising from the foundation's ties with the pharmaceutical industry. You don't say. Oh, I can't imagine. So basically, as of February 28th, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is no longer allowed to take part in, much of the vaccine programs going on in India, which is interesting because India's already set in motion several lawsuits about the Gardasil vaccine, not to mention a few others. So is there change in the wind? I like it. This is one of those where we go, ooh, this is good. And then right on the heels of that, we go from change in the wind to, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Really? We're doing this again? Here we go. Gaming the system. The FDA approves an old drug with a new name and a new price point. Oh, it's only 7,000% more expensive. So this drug is for a very rare form of muscular dystrophy. So we're talking a deadly disease, a deadly children's disease. This drug, initially called, okay, I'm going to try and say this, bear with me, deflazacort, used to cost families approximately $1,200 a year, and they had to import it. Now, they've got a fancy new name. It's called Emflaza, and it's going to cost those same families $89,000 a year. And this is legal? And this is legal how? Someone explain to me. How is this legal? Transparency, though. We watch them play these games. So, just like everyone did with all of these other various drug companies who tried to with their prices, I think people should start calling out the FDA on this one. Because really? I'm not sure the public will agree with a 7,000% price increase. Let's see. And on the heels of that, SpaceX is still to deliver a superbug to the ISS so we can kill it faster in the future. What space bug what bug are they sending into space? MRSA virus. Oh, that's great. Let's send one of the most deadly fucking bacterias. It's a biological weapon already created in a lab that mutates very, very quickly. Let's send it into space where we know it'll mutate even faster. And of course, the excuse is because then we can study it and we can find a cure. Because that works so well. Okay, but now there's a little piece in this I just want to point out. A little piece beyond the absolute, like, who the fuck came up with this idea and gee, what could possibly go wrong? Let's send, a deadly bacteria that, kills more Americans every year than HIV, AIDS, emphysema, Parkinson's disease, and homicide all combined. Let's send it to space. This is interesting, though. I want to watch this. Previous research conducted by NASA has shown that low gravity environments accelerate the growth and the mutation rates of bugs in space, because that's what we want to do. And they become hyperactive, and when combined with low-level radiation in space, that can alter the behavior of certain genes. Okay, first of all, so low-level gravity, not no gravity, low-level gravity, which could mean several things, i.e. not in space, just maybe high up. And low-level radiation, wait, isn't NASA the one always telling us that, space has got so much radiation, it's so dangerous? I'm going to call bullshit on this article. But yes, let's send a superbug out to space so we can make it mutate that much faster and stronger and take it back and study it. Because it's not like the Pentagon and the CDC doesn't have a track record of losing toxic bacteria samples like Ebola and anthrax. No. That never happens. Never. Okay, so and right on the heels of that, ready? Illinois is gearing up for the apocalypse. It's the zombie apocalypse. They have I shit you not, I cannot make this shit up, okay? Illinois lawmakers have approved a resolution declaring October 2017 to be the inaugural Zombie Preparedness Month. That's right. And then some idiot representative says to the Chicago Tribune, says, I'm told that if we are prepared for zombies, then you would be prepared to deal with natural disasters like tornadoes and blizzards. I would like to point out that zombie preparedness kits include axes, baseball bats, high-powered rifles, and things that cut off heads. Not really going to be helpful in a blizzard or an earthquake, just saying. But I think it's cute because, of course, CDC did release their Preparedness 101 for the zombie apocalypse back in 2011, which I fully covered back then. MRSA in space, zombie apocalypse. But it means nothing. Don't worry about it. Here we go. Now, this really, really interesting. The little tiny rock of Gibraltar, which, yes, is its own country. Gibraltar is its own country. You can walk across it in about 7 minutes, but it is its own country. I might be exaggerating. It might take you 15 minutes to walk across the country. The Gibraltar Police Car speeds onto the runway to stop an RAF plane from taking off. That's the Royal Air Force, i.e. England Royal Air Force. England, who controls the Rock of Gibraltar. Now, interesting, so they speed off. Apparently, there's a standoff for about 2 hours. The bizarre situation caused substantial delays for other passengers waiting to fly off the rock, et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, the Daily Mail, which we don't trust, really, the Daily Mail is the British version of the National Enquirer, but they're saying that the incident was due to a diplomatic row over a sex offense allegations. Now, given all that we've seen about all this shit coming up, Pizzagate, and for the Gibraltar police to actually drive on the runway to stop an airplane from taking off, a British Royal Air Force plane. Interesting, and people were taken off and arrested. But they have no comment. So we don't really know, but it'll be interesting. I just want to see what happens with this. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit of finances. A couple of little articles. Interesting. So one is this one here, that Germany's repatriating their gold much faster than was originally anticipated. That basically they're going to have their 2020 levels by the end of 2017. What they expected to have repatriated from New York and France by 2020 is they're now going to have it all back in Germany by 2017. Would this possibly be because they're getting ready to launch their gold-backed Deutschmark that I've been talking about for 4 fucking years? Well, we don't know. But it's interesting. Given the fact that Germany has an election this year, given the fact that France has an election real soon, and it regardless of what the Western media wants to say, it's kind of looking like a given that Le Pen is going to win. And she's promising that if she wins the French election, the very first fucking thing that's going to happen is they're getting the fuck out of the euro. Now they're talking about this whole thing. Le Pen victory would lead to massive sovereign debt default. Oh, really? They're saying that basically they would transfer their debt from euros into the new French franc. Oh, which could very well be tied to the gold-backed Deutschmark. That's old intel. That's fucking several years ago, but it was whispered. It was whispered. So we got whisperings. Brexit is happening. Brexit is going to go ahead. And we have Donald Trump in power in the US, who doesn't like the Eurozone. And even as far back as 2012 was like, Greece should get the fuck out of the euro, get the drachma back and fuck the euro and say, let's get on with life, which they should have done, which of course I covered again substantially back in all that time. Now, Trump, his man, or according to the media, if you want to believe them, the guy that Trump is tapping to be the US ambassador to the EU, the European Union, is a guy called Ted Malik. Now, this guy has been very, very outspoken. But the fact that the euro is done, the European Union is falling, and that it ain't going to stand much longer. So, whisperings in the wind. Oh, and Greece is up again for revisiting the whole Greek financial shit is about to happen all over again. With whisperings in the wind. And elections all over Europe. Interesting stuff, friends. Now, okay, so yesterday, Donald Trump met with Prime Minister Abe from Japan, and all the Dinar people, the global revaluation people, Nasara people went, because at the very, very end, Trump vows to level the playing field for the U.S., Japan, China currency. So as soon as you say the words level the playing field and mention the word currency, immediately everyone who's involved in the global currency revaluation intel world immediately went nuts, lost their minds. But, and I'm not saying that this couldn't be where he's going. It could very well be where he's going with this. But, what's the other thing those three currencies have in common? The US dollar, the Japanese yen, and the Chinese yuan. They're all in the IMF SDR basket. The SDR basket, is that what Trump is talking about? Something to do with the SDRs? I'll have to wait and see. Oh, who's also very much involved in the SDRs? Oh, the euro. Whoops. There might need to be some reevaluations done on that whole process. Now, two major things happened this week. Statements by heads of state of other countries that did not get a single whisper, not even a tickle in Western media. Okay, now the first one was a statement made by the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran that is really rather, let me just give you a little glimpse of what he had to say. So this is, of course, about Trump is rattling the saber at Iran. Like I said, there always has to be a bad guy. There always has to be someone to go to war with. So now it's not China, it's not Russia. Now it's Iran, right? So they rattled the saber. Now, this is what Ayatollah had to say back. He said, the new U.S. president says Iran should thank Obama. Why? Should we thank him for creating ISIS, the ongoing wars in Iraq and Syria, or the blatant support for the 2009 sedition in Iran? Did he just say the fact that the U.S. created ISIS? I think he did. And then sit down here, we actually thank this new President Trump. We thank him because he's made it easier for us to reveal the real face of the United States. What we have been saying for over 30 years about political, economic, moral, and social corruption within the U.S. ruling establishment. He exposed it all during the election campaigns and after the election. Those are some pretty hard-hitting words, and nothing said in the media, not even a whisper. Gets better. Some ignoramus, a Belgian journalist who thought, I don't know what he thought, maybe he was just smoking crack. Maybe he was just thinking that Assad was going to play the nicey-nicey game and make a politically correct response to his questions, which were ludicrous. Basically, Belgian journalist tries to corner Assad and be like, so what do you think about all the wonderful help that Belgium and EU is helping you guys so much with over there in Syria? And Assad just made him look like a fucking idiot. I'm going to post this video at the end of this, because everyone should take the 3 minutes and 41 seconds to listen to what Assad says. Yeah, but again, major words by a head of state. Not a word said in the Western media. Not a word anywhere. Isn't it funny how the media just doesn't want to say anything that goes against what the byline is? Oh, so transparent. Yep. Well, it is what it is. So it's a weekend. Zombie apocalypse coming in October in Illinois. Mercer's going up to the space lab, and the FDA is just being really, really transparent. And let's watch what happens in the Euro currency zone. It could get real interesting, real fast. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. I will talk to you again really soon. Bye.